Hi friends, it's Julia. I'm here to share a layout that I created using my April 2016 Counterfeit Kit Challenge kit. And it was a ginormous kit. This layout is one of the last ones that I created. I was down to scraps. I had planned to throw the scraps away and decided that I had too many of them that coordinated too well, and I needed to actually put them together and make layouts with them. I think when I got to the end, I had enough scraps to create about 5 or 6 more layouts. And so this is one of them. And you can see I'm just going through, and I actually started, I had a sketch when I started this, but don't ask me from where. I so cannot remember, and I did not write it down, and I apologize for that. I usually am pretty good about writing down where the sketches come from and giving credit, but today that's not the case. Or with this kit. This kit I've been working on a little at a time for the last year and a half. Like I said, it was huge. I made a total of 40 layouts with this kit, so you can tell just by that how ginormous it was. And so back to the layout, I'm just using little bits and scraps of paper. That paper that I have there with the floral is a piece of a basic gray paper that I just could not throw away. It was too pretty. It had bits of like hot pink, magenta pink, green, purple, beige, blue. It had all the different colors, and so I thought I need to use that. And that pink piece is a piece of packaging. And I thought it was too pretty to throw out. So, of course, I'm going to use it. And I like how it looks behind those photos, and I wish I had left it just like that, not cut it quite as short as I did, left it a little bit longer, and used it like that in the background. But as I go through, I cut that piece of paper down and I added it to the top of it, and then I ended up taking the pink piece off altogether. I still like how this layout turned out, but there are some things about it that I would change if I could. Like putting that pink piece back behind there. Come on. I mean, who doesn't love pink, right? Okay, maybe everybody doesn't like it as much as I do. It is one of my favorite colors besides green. I do love pink, and I have quite a few pink embellishments even in my wardrobe throughout my house, and I use them a lot as far as embellishments go on scrapbooking. But I do have 3 granddaughters, so you know, it's kind of easy to use that pink, and it's kind of easy to have that around. But this granddaughter, I think actually her mommy likes her to have blue. And so she wears a lot of blue. But this hat, the photos were from her Minnie Mouse birthday party. And she had the mouse ears on, and it has a big pink bow right in the middle. And so I wanted to, you know, have something to coordinate with that big pink bow. And I had pulled in the piece of paper for the background. It's one of those pieces of paper that I knew that I wasn't going to use the A side to, and the back side, the B side, was just plain white. And so I opted to flip it over and use the plain white side as my background piece. And as you can see, I had that white piece of paper. I had some leftovers from that, and I was just adding them in. I added in a couple of sheets of 6x6 pattern paper to this little stack of scrap paper that I had in order to create this layout. But in the kit that I created, I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 6x6 paper pads. And they were mostly, there was one I think that hadn't been used very much, but the rest of them had been well used, well loved. And I think I was able to actually completely use up one of the 6x6 paper pads. But the green piece that's under the photos now, and then the black were from a couple of additional paper pads, 6x6 paper pads that I had in the kit. And so I'm still pulling things together, and I'm making some banner strips that are going to go across the background there. And I use the T-square ruler to put that back blue piece of paper down, but the rest of it I just mostly eyeball. I do use my mat. It does have grid lines on it, and I do use that quite a bit as far as helping me measure things out. But in this instance, I wasn't real rigid on how all the layers went down as far as those banner strips go. I was going to use that other piece of white, and then I put it over to the side. I will eventually, and isn't this the case? You think you have everything like you wanted in the background, and then you think, oh, how cool would that look if it were under all these different layers? And of course, you know, who can film a process video without having to refill their tape gun? Obviously not me. I think I do this quite a bit. I refill this online for you while I'm filming. And I always think to myself later when I'm doing the editing process, I should have cut that out. And for some reason, I did not. A little late now, not going back to the editing cutting board to cut that section out. So it is what it is. So anyway, you think about papers and how you have them placed, and then you think, oh, well, that would look terrific if it were in the back. And so, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm going to put it. And then the other one, the other 6x6 piece of paper, I think will look great on the other side. And because the photos are tilted, I went up a little bit with the green piece of paper to kind of mimic what was going on with the other, with the way the photos are, because one's a little bit higher than the other. And so here I'm just still creating the background, or still getting everything laid down. And I found a little piece of scallop paper, scallop border strip, and I thought, okay, I want that along the top. So here I go. I add it down, and I fuss with it a little bit. I don't know why exactly, but I do. That's another thing. That's the case of, you know, you have this little tiny itty bitty piece of paper or washi tape or whatever, and it has to be just the right placement for you for whatever reason. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I think it was just, you know, I was at the end of my day. And so as I'm going through the evening after work, getting this layout done, I'm thinking to myself, I'm really fussing a little too much with some of these things. And so here I decide beautiful is going to be part of my title. And I don't know if you can see over to the side, I have that, those rub-ons, and there's the word crazy on there. It's part of a little phrase that says crazy for you. And I'm thinking, I really want crazy, beautiful you, but I don't want the for. So I cut the for off, and then I cut the rest of it out, and then I'm going to get it all stuck down. And I love the way the title came out. The tiny little word that says you, it kind of fell apart on there, but that's okay. It works, and it turned out really cool. I like how the overall title, and I won't make you watch me put all of it down, but you can see I just used my little palette knife to rub my rub-ons down. It's got a nice sharp edge, and it typically works out fairly well to get everything stuck down like I want it. And so as I'm going through, I'm also looking around to see if there's, I kind of pull out different things. I pull my stickers out, I pull my rub-ons out, I pull my labels out, and I think, okay, do I want any of this around? Do I want any of that around? And I think to myself, well, I want some labels on either side, just mostly to hold embellishment. I thought at first I might do some journaling on them, but then I opted not to. And I just add additional embellishment on them. And I'm using my, I think it's 3M foam tape to layer up behind those little labels. And I place them down, but I don't mash them firmly, so it still gives me a little bit of leeway in order to move things around if I feel like I need to. And I'm a bit of a changer. I typically will follow a sketch to start out with, and a lot of times I will be right on with the sketch as far as where the photo placement is and where the layout clusters are, but will it look exactly like it? Not necessarily. My papers don't always turn out in the same spots. Sometimes instead of one picture I use two, sometimes instead of four or two I use four, that kind of thing. So I really tend to make sketches my own. And so when I started with this layout, whatever the sketch was, I think it may have been like a one photo sketch or something, and I used 2 photos on it. And so, so I think really the only thing that mimics the original layout is the little cluster of paper and washi tape at the top. I think that was pretty true to the original sketch. And I'm just still going through things looking. Those are rub-ons, and I'm looking if I want to put any more of those down. Those are some washi tape paper strips, say that fast 5 times, that I have that I wanted to use some of them on this layout. And so I'm just tucking a little here and there. And I'm loving how that washi tape is so easy to put down. It is not uber sticky. So, I mean, you have time to adjust and move it. It's not gonna, like the pink stripe at the top, I think if I were to try and lift that up, it would probably tear the background and the background paper because it is so sticky. But like this stuff, you know, I can lay it down and 2 minutes later or 2 seconds later, peel it back up. Now, if it's on there for a while, it may be a different story. It may get tougher and tougher over time. I don't know. I've not ever tried to lift them up a long time after. It's just always in the moment of placement. And so here I am fussing with this again. And you know, I think when I do these layouts when I come home from work, because I have, you know, when you're in the healthcare profession, you have some control at work, but you really don't have a lot of control. I mean, I can prescribe patients medications, I can prescribe treatments for them, but I can't always make them take the medicines or follow the procedures that need to happen. You know, they've always got free will. They can always do things. So sometimes you leave work and you feel like there's a bit of, and I don't know that everybody feels this way, you sometimes feel like things are just out of control and you need to have that uber control over whatever you're doing. You need to be neurotic about the control of it. And I think sometimes when I come home from work and I scrapbook in the evening, I think that's how I feel. I feel like I get really, really fussy about creating some of these layouts, fussier than I really should be. But in the end, I do I do mostly like how they turn out. And on this one, I'm loving how it's coming together. Now, I do add a rub-on in just a few minutes that I'm not crazy about. And I do like how I'm able to use those bits and pieces that I've previously used. Like there's 2 flowers on there that I've previously used half of on other layouts that I have the half left, and I'm able to use on this layout. And it looks, you know, terrific. It looks really good. I love that. And here's the point where I'm coming to the point where I add a little rub-on over on the right side, and I kind of wish I hadn't have added that on, but I felt like I needed to bring a bit more black down, and I think it was just too much. So as I'm going through that packet of rub-ons, and they're older rub-ons, I think they're American Crafts. I place this over to the side. It has the right colors. It has that reddish color to it, the black, and it's got some blue in it. I mean, it's not that it doesn't go. I just think in that spot, it didn't necessarily work. I wanted to bring the black down, but she had the black hat on in that photograph on that side, and then the crazy beautiful you was the black over top of it. I think if I had put it over to the left side or down below, I think I would have liked it much, much better. But for whatever reason, I placed it there, and well, that's okay. And so rather than add more black to the other side, I opted to put that the number 2 by the other photo to bring the black more down in that general vicinity. And so I'm getting close to the end here. The very end of the video, I think I lost a couple minutes of feed. I think my battery probably went dead, but I was close enough to the end that I went ahead and stopped. I don't think I added much more other than some additional pieces of bling, little gemstones here and there I added. But I do have photos at the end so that you can have a closer look. And if you need to pause, you know, it'll give you a better look at the different embellishment clusters and the whole layout itself. And so if you guys make kits from your stash, you know, where you pull in old stuff as well as new stuff, whatever, if you're making it from stuff that you already own, please link me in the comment section your blog or your YouTube site. I love, love, love to see what other people create with their own stash. And it's so funny because I go back through and I go, oh, I have that. Oh, I have that. Oh, I have that. And so it really gives me inspiration to pull up some of my older stash and use it. And that's what I'm hoping these videos do for you. I'm hoping that they really encourage you to pull up that older stash that you have and to pull it out and use it up. I mean, you bought it because you liked it and you obviously wanted to use it, so pull it out and use it up. And that's what I'm hoping these videos that I create encourage you to do. So if you create videos like this or have a blog where you post photos, any of that, just let me know down in the comment section. Otherwise, I hope you'll flip me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I try to be good about posting. Sometimes work gets super duper busy and, you know, I lose track of Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all the social media stuff. It just kind of goes out of my head and I just don't even think about it because I get so busy with life itself. So anyway, I'll try to be more diligent about posting more frequently. And I will see you guys on the next video. Have a great day, everyone.